yet another member spotlight series of Mentor My Board. So, the entire crux of the series is to put the members of the community under a spotlight and understand from them, know from them their journey, how they have grown in their professional and personal careers. Take some feedbacks from them, some good tips from them, so that we can all implement it. So learning from each other, the peer learning that is happening out here. Under this spotlight series today, I would love to welcome Shruti Dhawan with us. So Shruti has a 20 plus years of experience in various fields of HR, in various fields of PoSH, so on and so forth. And we are going to discuss with her in detail about her current journey and her current role as well. But just before I pass on the baton to Shruti, let me introduce you to Mentor My Board as well. So, Mentor My Board is a one stop solution for everything that a director needs to perform his or her role effectively and efficiently. So we have built in a platform wherein it acts as a LinkedIn where directors, senior leaders can come join in on the platform, network, communicate with each other efficiently. It also has a kind of Calendly where you can schedule your meetings with the mentors. So you have those one-on-one sessions and the mentoring sessions with them. It also has an inbuilt LMS system wherein you learn at your own time and pace. And apart from that, it is kind of an Amazon wherein it has all the products and services that a director will need to perform the role effectively. So do log into the platform of Mentor by Board. And with this, I hand over the baton to Shruti now. So, Shruti, we would love to hear from you about your past and the present journey that you are going through. And, please share something about yourself with the members today who are hearing you.
Thanks, Neha. Thanks for inviting me for this session. It's a great pleasure to be here. I used to listen, all the other member spotlights, and I was waiting for this opportunity. So thanks for giving this opportunity. A brief about myself would be, a graduate in commerce, and after my post graduation in HR from Mumbai, I followed the usual route of being a full time employee as an HR professional. I started my career with a then startup and did multiple stunts of as an HR generalist in various mid-sized companies or startups. Then I got the opportunity to go to UK, where I found that HR consulting is the way if I want to go ahead with a little child rather than a full-time employment. So I did my CIPD course over there, which is HR professional certification of UK. And I again, with my CIPD and as an HR consultant, I started working in UK for 4 years. Came back to India and wanted to do same consulting kind of activity in HR. But in India, it is not that mature because in India, HR consulting means recruitment only. But I wanted more of an HR journalist. It would be more than recruitment. Let it be competency based. Putting competencies across organizations, performance appraisals. So it was initially difficult to set up myself there, but somehow got the right contacts and started working with multiple companies as a consultant and set up my own HR consultant firm. Uh, on paper, yes, it's a sole proprietor and a partnership firm later. But of course, yes, I used to got the exposure of marketing, got the exposure of finance, got the exposure of filing taxes, got all those exposures while developing my own consulting firm and how to do project based hiring and all that stuff. And it added a lot of experience to my career. Then also was very keen on learning and development and teaching. So started in that area also and did lot of training activities. Was associated with various institutes for as a visiting faculty also. To name few is NMIMS, IIT Bombay, and ITM. These are few of them. The list is a little longer. So it was very simple. Whatever you got, and wherever the name spread, just took up the opportunity. Currently in Hyderabad, working as an AVP HR and admin with Adventum Health Private Limited. It's a US healthcare company into RCM. So this is how my career track is.
Wonderful. And how about your professional part of life? So, how has that been evolving? Because you've been to various places. So, how is it that you managed those things?
So I think it just I just took it with the flow. Whatever came, I just took it. Okay, and I never thought that I should be doing this and therefore I should be not doing that. Whenever I like when I wanted to start teaching, I came to know that if I do a certification in learning and development, it will be better. So I just took it up, and as and when the projects came, I just took it up. It gave me the opportunity to work with various companies across India and abroad. So I didn't set a flow myself. It just happened. It definitely helped because the more the work I took, the more I got into various areas. So when we talk about HR, people think it's only about employee handling, but it is more than that. It is HR compliance. It is understanding a little bit of psychology. It is about training. It's learning and development. It's labor laws. So it just came with the flow. So whatever wherever then I got a project, I took it.
Wonderful. I think that is so candid and so nice about, being in the flow and just enjoying what is coming to you. That's
Yeah.
amazing. So I
Thank
love
you.
that piece of, the interaction. But yes, having, understanding that you were an HR entrepreneur. So what are the kind of the challenges that you have faced in establishing and, running your own HR business? Or I would say, if not challenges, what are those kind of those points which kept you going, which you felt that you would love to continue with the journey, and what were the lessons that you learned along in that journey?
So when I started, it was I had not planned to become an HR entrepreneur. It simply happened because I was in UK and I had a small kid. So rather than having a full time employment, I thought, what should I do? And I had a good. I went to CIPD, cleared my exams, and they have a good network out over there. And there, a lot of people in the network, said, consulting is. This is what HR consulting is. This is what you have to do as an HR entrepreneur. So they said, why don't you go ahead? And I just learned from them, and I started doing that. So when I incorporated my UK company out over there, it was very easy in UK, something which I thought at that time, I'm talking about this, somewhere in 2007 and 8, it was not that easy in India. Okay, so it was very easy in UK to set up a new business when it comes to legal compliances and the processes. So, I learned it on the way and I did it and I really liked it because, it, I just enjoyed that and I found it very easy and very fruitful and, giving me those kind of profits which I had expected. When I came back to India, the problem was the market was not that mature in the HR field. So if you go to a company and say, I want to do a project, the first question is, so you'll come on per day basis. Are you a lawyer? Are you a CA who's charging for per hour? Okay, so
Oh.
so they didn't know how they should pay me. They know that HR means either it's recruitment, so that those are simple contracts, like percentage of a person to be hired, or a third party payroll idea. But or even some areas of learning and development, they know you come, you take a training program, you have a per day fees. But when it comes to projects around HR, first the barrier was, oh, can I outsource an HR project? I have an HR employee. What will he or she do? So even the HR professionals in the company used to feel scared. Why is she called? Okay, because they're not used to it. You have CAs, you have auditors, you have lawyers who do this kind of job. So, that mindset that, oh, is HR that important that we should be paying on per hourly basis? What will this person come for an hour? And if I'm paying X amount, will it be worth it or not? Then the calculation and the contracts. So I had to really break that mindset. Whenever I approached a client, and it was very difficult, right from startups to even big MNCs who approached me. So they were really confused of how to structure it. So every time I had to tell them, okay, you can do it like this. This is how the working will happen. You'll have to give me a scope of work. I'll divide it and show it to you. So selling, they believed in me, but selling the service was difficult because it was new. Okay.
I can very well
So that,
resonate because that was the time when I entered my professional journey in HR as well. I pretty clearly remember that HR mostly meant either recruitments or some part of training for, for which you are paid. But then HR projects per se was really difficult to bag on.
yeah. So like I'll tell you one example in UK. Even to have an employee discussion, they hire on per hour basis. Para HR legal person who can help the conversation happen if it's a difficult conversation. But
Okay.
and I got those kind of projects in UK. Like, can you come for a half a day? Where between the manager and you will sit and you will look at from the legal and psychological viewpoint. But in India, this was not something that kind of a concept. So even selling those kind of services, everyone understood it, but they didn't know, okay, is it worthwhile. So first was selling the new product, and then he's also making them understand it's worthwhile that you hire somebody on per hour or per day. So slowly, making them understand, and I got really, really good projects. I got it from Tata, Alice, Monsanto, even Siemens. So as I went ahead, I got good ones because I could establish that, and I could establish a system of selling and convincing that it is worth it. And as you know, once you have clients who can give you your testimonials, then it's very easy to say, okay, you can contact him and see what change I bought in a day or in a month or an hour. So, and defining the deliverables, because also in HR, how will you define the non-tangible deliverables? So you have to go back to the board and they say, okay, we hired an HR consultant and this is the ROI of the investment we made. So I have to towards the end show them some deliverables which are hard and some deliverables which are soft. So that kind of creation of the service and then being able to deliver it and giving end to end. This was a challenging thing, but I think I did a fairly good job with the kind of clients and projects I got.
Wonderful. So nice to hear from you this. And I totally resonate with the journey that you're just mentioning about the entrepreneurship into HR field. So you are also a psychotherapist, right? And how do you actually understand the human behavior and the psychology, and how does it contribute in your role as an HR or a compliance professional, or maybe as an independent director when you sit on boards?
So when I did a course in psychotherapy, the intention was not that it will help me in my professional side of the work. Okay, it was more of interest out of psychology. So when I was young, I used to say I want to become a lawyer, a teacher, a counselor. So I did most of the thing. By the time I decided to do, I think only psychology was left. So I told mom, let me just do one course and fulfill my dream also. Okay. So I just went for one course. I never had an idea to become a diploma holder in psychotherapy. I just wanted to do one-off course and learn the basic of psychology. But by the time I finished my first course, I realized the importance it can bring to my professional work and
Right.
personal life. So I decided to complete it. And how did it help me was, see, whenever you are sitting uh, as in a position of HR, or customer care, or even as a board of director or as a director, you are always under stress because people will approach you when they're in trouble. When they're happy, they will not approach you.
True.
So when they're in trouble, they are stressed, they approach you. And at that moment, if you cannot look at the situation as a psychotherapist and say that this is a transactional activity and not an emotional or ego exchange, the situation goes out of bounds. So
Hmm.
understanding that difference and being able to keep yourself calm in that moment that whole course in psychotherapy helped me to apply that in my profession. So now when uh, also the other thing is when people approach you with troubles, uh, some people agree, some might not agree with the comment which I'm saying, but a lot of time when somebody is coming in trouble with you, they carry a negative vibe around them because they are stressed. So that gets
Right.
passed on to the listener. Okay, so as an HR or a customer care executive, somewhere the listener also gets affected. So to keep yourself, what you call in Hindi as tathastha, yeah, to,
Attached to
yeah,
the stress, yes.
yeah, correct. So that's very necessary to understand that I am not a part of this situation. I have to overlook it and try to let the other person come out of it. Okay, because I cannot be in the well and tell them how to get out of the well. I have to be out of the well and pull them out. Okay,
Perfect.
so being able to do that, that diploma really helped me, and now that really helps me at my work because I understand what the other person is going around, and the interaction is more transactional, and which helps the other individual rather than me getting carried away in the situation and complicating it with emotions and egos.
So true. And it actually reminds me of a journey of a doctor as well. Like, he cannot get into the pain of the patient. He has to be out of it to resolve the same. So it is
Correct.
as equivalent as being a doctor and curing the patient.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
wonderful. So you are also a womb alumni, and I would love to know how has or whether has this womb program helped you in some way in your professional path.
So around 3 years back, I decided to become a board of director. The reason was very simple. When I was doing my graduation, from all the list of professions I wanted, one was, when I used to see the annual report, I used to tell my mom, I want my signature down below. Okay, I want to. So I tried. I looked at all the professions. I used to say, okay, company secretary, CA. So I tried while graduation doing, clearing, giving my CA exam or company secretary. I didn't clear. I could not pursue that kind of hard work at that moment. Okay. So then, when I finished all the other things in the list, 3 years back, I said, okay, so there's one more position, board of director, which I can still explore. I don't want to do a full course in CSCS. So I said, okay, this is my resolution. I'll take 2 years till 2023. I'll take 2 years to prepare for the exam, and by end of 2024, I should be able to clear my exams. Around somewhere around mid 2023, I thought I'm going very slow. I need someone to push me. So I contacted you all, and I started. I was supposed to start the course in September, if you remember, but then I got pushed because of personal reasons to October. And I wouldn't say good, but one thing which happened was just one day before your course, I went through the surgery. So I thought, will I be able to complete or not? Should I go back to Neha and say I'll drop out? But my mom said, just do it. Okay. On the contrary, that situation helped because on the weekends, I was not going out. I was
Right.
supposed to rest. So I just sat and studied whatever you all gave me.
Oh,
Okay. Everything which you all said, do this, do that. I kept myself engaged, while I was taking rest from recovery. And
wonderful.
Jan, I thought I'll give my first attempt, and most probably by December, and I'll be able to do it. Jan. So I say I'm now 1 year before my resolution, all because of you all. So
Oh,
this is my experience from the womb course. It helped me understand two things. One is, of course, is it helped me to prepare for the IICA certification. The second is the confidence of saying no or raising your voice when you feel that uh, in the board or in any corporate scenario where you feel that things are not going as per it should be going as per governance and compliance, and looking at things from various perspectives. So getting all that varied experience which I had, how you can connect all of them to a situation and look at it as strategically. So these three things I really learned from the womb course, and they have really helped me a lot.
thank you. Thank you for sharing it, Shruti. And I'm sure, it will help you in future as well when you perform your duties as an independent director, which you will definitely in a near future. I'm sure about it.
Yes.
So since you are IICA certified now, so what are the key responsibilities that you believe as an which is essential in ensuring that the corporate governance is effective enough, and how do you approach it?
So I'm mixing a little bit of my HR experience from to the responsibilities as an IICA. So there are a lot of responsibilities laid down by government, a lot of responsibilities which are not laid down, but as part of profession, people are doing it, and it's a precedent. But one thing which I've seen, which I want to add, I will not repeat those, but I'll add a few which I feel, from my HR perspective are necessary. Is that a lot of time, when it comes to governance, people relate it to compliance. Okay, this is compliance. It's a tick mark activity. Has to be done. Let's do it. So, and I need a police, means I need somebody to police me. So, here are the various government authorities. They police me only to an extent, so I will apply it only to that extent. Okay. When the threat increases from the government, I will go to the next level.
True.
That's the usual attitude I've seen. So, I think as a board of director, we should be saying that. When it comes to governance and compliance, not only for HR but for others also, there's a reason why these are laid down for better economy, for better strategic growth of the company. Okay, and the logic behind that has to be understood. And if you adopt them as part of the corporate culture or the company culture, where everybody feels that a little discipline from each one of us can help us to grow faster. So if we apply it like that by each individual, that as a culture back down over there, that every employee is following that culture, I think it becomes easy. So then governance becomes part of life. Then it's not a tick mark activity or an annual report, a KPI to be measured and reported back. It just becomes a way of life. So bringing that down culture, of course, as it's the senior management, but that has to come from the board of directors, that they have to initiate that, not as a tick mark activity, but as a way of culture out over there. That if you have to log in, from the basic things, you log in, look at your IT compliance, submitting your bills. So these are small things, but if everybody does all these small things correctly, then at the top, that becomes from more effective from the strategic point.
I so loved it. Was right bang on, what you said, that you just need to love it, and it just needs to be imbibed in the culture of the corporate or the company, so as to, bring it in the DNA of each and every person who is going to handle it. So you were right on the spot. All right. So going ahead, you are also a PoSH consultant. And how do you address and prevent the workforce harassment for women, and steadfast on this gender diversity kind of role? And what do you recommend for the organizations? Like, how should they create safe and inclusive workplaces?
So when I started as a certified PoSH consultant, I was lucky to work with few lawyers. So I saw the law part of it also. And how, if at all a situation goes, beyond control, how the law comes into picture. I feel it's a very well law, written law, and it has all the aspects out over there. But there are a lot of misconceptions and myths about it. Okay, so when we really, and the government has done the right step of asking to do an employee awareness every year with the employees. So there are a lot of modules out there which some companies follow it as a tick mark activity. I said at least it's one step ahead, at least doing something. But one thing is for sure, that it should move beyond as a DNA of the company, and for it to become a DNA of the company and DNA of every individual, one should understand why the law actually came into place. So when I used to train for awareness programs across schools, colleges, and as well as corporates, I used to get a lot of things as it is women oriented. Why it is women oriented? It is a tool used to only suppress men. This is an extra benefit given to women. There were all these are myths, and those myths are clarified very clearly in the law if you read it. Okay, very strict against action against malicious complaints. They also give you the liberty to make it a gender neutral policy in the organization and not limit it only to females. Okay, so
Right.
very clearly they have put all the points, so that nobody misuses it. But the mindset out over there, because nobody reads the law, so the mindset it is woman oriented. Uh, I would love to see a time where we don't need any such laws either for men or women or any other gender. A society which is so good and so idealistic that everything is going smooth, but till it is not, let's we have to at least start somewhere to bring it into equity. And I think that this is what the law does. So what I feel is, companies should not look at it as a tick mark activity and understand the essence of why that law came. And people also and the corporate should understand why it is there. I,
Right.
as an individual, not be doing it, but the whole world is not limited to me. Okay, there are certain negative things in the society, and it's not limited to the cities. People forget about government or private companies in small villages or small towns. Okay, they forget about so many women who want to get out of their houses in small towns and do not feel safe and want to go at workplace, and they might be facing such kind of issues. So don't limit yourself when you're looking at it and say, oh, I'm from the, I know a lot of Indian cities and metros are safe, and I'm lucky to be stay in two of these metros. So I don't find that kind of negative culture in such organizations. But there are down there, remote office, remote villages where women really want to come out and work, and this is
True.
what is stopping them. So this law is for the whole of India or whole of world. Okay, so it's not it's not for that one individual because I am good means everybody is good. So
Right.
there would be some negative elements, and we want to remove those negative mindsets, not elements. I would say negative mindsets which can help women feel more safer to work. Also, one myth is, oh, it's only in India. To just to make them aware, it's not only in India. This was started by UN that every country should be doing it. India is one of the countries doing it. Okay, so you have these laws in all the countries, and this problem is faced across the world. So I think as an Indian, as India as a country, we are very good at solving this issue presently compared to what I see when I started my career. Okay, so I think that we are doing a very good progress in that area, and therefore not to look at negatively. I think it's a very progressive and a very apt legislation.
Wonderful, wonderful. And in fact, thank you for sharing it that, this kind of law is not only in India, because yes, I do agree that many of them have this perception that, why only India needs all these reservations and laws for women. But it is equally important across the world wherein there are incidences that are taking place, and that is where the need of such law arises.
Right.
So thank you for sharing that perspective as well. My last question to you, Shruti. So, how do you envision the future role of HR professionals, and what skills do you believe that are crucial for them in their success, for the coming years? So, what are your takes on that?
So I would say stop looking at yourself as an HR professional as just an administrator. Administrator has been the role of an administrator has been taken up by AI. Okay, so get to the next level. Enter the boardrooms. There's a lot of HR data which can help the board to make more calculative decisions, and more board of directors and board members want to look at the HR data, because, and specifically in service industry where human resource is the raw material as well as the processor. So human resource is very important in service industry. So more and more board of directors and the boards want to look at HR data of how happy the employees are, why they're not happy, because from simple statistics of attrition and dividing it on demographic basis, you can get a clear area where things are going wrong or may be going wrong, which maybe might look good on the financial balance sheet. Okay, but it'll give you a clear indicator of what and where, what could be the areas where it is going wrong. I'm not saying it will give you a standard answer. It's not maths, because it's human involved in that. but it really gives you, if looked at properly and if implemented properly, it gives you some idea of where problems could be. And then relating it with the financial numbers gives you a better idea and helps you to strategize better, specifically in service industry. So I think all HR professionals should aim to go at the board level and knock at the door over there. More and more of us should aspire for it and not think, oh, being a board of director means, only the finance side of people. But I think marketing, HR, all of us should be knocking at this door. And I feel, HR should really come up to that level, that say that yes, we are equally important and become a business partner, to the organization.
Wonderfully said, Shruti. Become a business partner to the organization, and human asset is the asset which should now enter the balance sheet as well in the assets
Yes.
side, because we have
Yeah.
always taken on the on the liability ones.
Liability thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yes, Shruti, it was a wonderful discussion with you. Loved this interaction, and thank you for joining us for this Member Spotlight series. And we would love to have many more such discussions with you. It was really, really great speaking to you.
Sure. Thank you. Thanks a lot. And would love to keep participating and interacting with the forum.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.